in Lagos State. Before he was declared missing, he left a disturbing note on his Instagram story where he hinted suicide after opening up on how he battled depression for 7 years. This trailed reactions on social media. Depression is real. Anyone can get depressed, even the teenagers. The World Health Organization has it that globally, depression is one of the leading causes of illness and disabilities among adolescents, and suicide is the third leading cause of death in 15 to 19-year-olds. We spoke to a child and educational psychologist who stressed on the causes of depression among the teenagers.
A lot of people believe that depression happens to only adults, but research has proven that teenagers also experience depression. Now, talking about what causes depression in teenagers, there are a whole lot of things that could cause depression among teenagers, but it's usually as a result of some kind of exposure to experiencing something different. So for some of them, they might experience a failure. Maybe they wrote an examination and they failed. It could cause depression. Sometimes it could be loss of a loved one. Maybe one of the parents passed on, or even a situation like a divorce. For some children who have very fragile personality, something like a sudden change of environment or a sudden change of school, something that is just unpalatable to them can cause depression in teenagers.
Here is a viral video of a mother in Kenya who narrated how she lost her teenage child.
And it was a Sunday evening and we had just had supper. And I thought that it was just one of his antics because he was a difficult boy. He became very difficult after he failed his Form 4 exams. And so finally, when they kept going and coming, and I was in my room. When I went outside, I found my son hanging on my veranda. And the most wicked sight in my life is to see his tongue hanging almost up till here. Because he had...
What should be done? What are the roles the parents are to play in curbing this disturbing issue of depression?
So the first thing that I would say that parents need to do is to realize that this is possible and to wake up from this, what I call it, denial that seems to exist in most African families. When parents do these two things, then they become naturally more observant. They begin to look out for the signs in the children. Yes, teenagers have a lot going on for them. They're going through hormonal changes. They're going through a lot of physical, psychological changes. And so, yes, they would have mood swings. They'll have high and low days, but it'll come and go. But once it lingers for 2 weeks, thereabouts, please, we need to talk to a specialist. We need to talk to a doctor, first of all, because sometimes parents do not know how to access specialists. So we need to talk to a doctor who will then refer whether to a child psychologist or to a psychiatrist or whoever they think is best in that situation.
It is reported a majority of Nigerians lack awareness about mental health, plus non-available mental health services. These barriers have long-lasting consequences as depressed patients who are untreated are more vulnerable to suicidal thoughts and suicide. There is therefore a need for more mental health practitioners in the country in order to meet the needs of the ever-growing number of people who will need to be treated. The first step towards tackling this issue, however, is raising awareness and talking about it.
Thanks for joining us on Plus News Brief. I am Osaogie Ogbonwa. About 118 Nigerians who were stranded in Libya for some time have returned to the country. The returnees arrived at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja, around 1:30 a.m. aboard a Burak Air. A statement by the Nigerians in Diaspora Commission says the returnees will be quarantined at the Federal Capital Territory Hajj camp for 14 days, in line with the new COVID-19 protocols by the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19. Governor Godwin OBASEKI of Edo State has called for the upward review of the current 13% derivation formula to the oil-producing states. He made the call on Tuesday, shortly after inaugurating the Efurun Oto Owo Olomo Bridge and the rehabilitated 34 kilometers to Jeremy Okwagbe Road in Ugeli South Local Government area of Delta State. The governor said that the current 13% allocation by the federal government was inadequate for the development of the Niger Delta. He also commended his Delta State counterpart, Ifeanyi Okowa, on the number of projects being executed in the state. The two female students of the Olabisi Onabanjo University, Ayetoro Campus, Ogun State, who were kidnapped on Sunday night, have regained freedom. The students, Adeyemo Precious and Oyefule Abiola, studying forestry and wildlife management and agricultural economics, respectively, were abducted about 9 p.m. on Sunday when the attackers stormed the Igbole Aibo quarters area of Ayetoro in Yewa North Local Government area of the state. Ogun State Governor Dapo Abiodun confirmed their release on Tuesday night. And gunmen suspected to be Boko Haram insurgents have attacked Katoko community in Gudba Local Government area of Yobe State. The insurgents also burnt down a primary school and a healthcare center located in the community. Confirming the attack, a resident says that the gunmen stormed the community at about 5:30 a.m. when they were going to the mosque for prayers. The classroom was also burnt by the Boko Haram. Katako community has been under attack over 10 times. And an Iyaganku Chief Magistrate Court sitting in Ibadan, Oyo State, has ordered the alleged notorious Fulani warlord in Ibarakpa land, Abdullahi Wakil, be remanded in correctional facility. The police charged Wakili alongside his sons, Abu and Samela, as well as Aliyu Manu, with 6 counts bordering on conspiracy, murdering, kidnapping, and armed robbery. According to the Chief Magistrate, Emmanuel Idowu, who did not take plea of the suspects for wanting jurisdiction, remanded them in the Abolongo Correctional Facility in Oyo State. Idowu ordered the police to return the case file to the Oyo State Directorate of Public Prosecution. He ordered the matter, or rather adjourned the matter until May 17th for mention. Also in the news, following incessant conflicts in some Adamawa communities, the Managing Conflict of Nigeria group has tasked the traditional rulers, security personnel also, to preach peace to the people at the grassroots. The Adamawa State Coordinator, Abdul Kadir Bello, announced this at the gathering of traditional rulers and security personnel in Yola, where he urged them to do everything possible to curb the situation in their jurisdiction. Bello said the MCN will always work hand in hand with security personnel and traditional rulers in order to have a peaceful environment in all the local government areas of the state.
We all know that traditional rulers and community leaders play crucial roles in maintenance of peace and security in our communities. Governments at all levels continue to rely on traditional rulers to maintain law and order. We all look up to them to continue to resolve conflicts and ensure justice is seen to be done. Despite the enormous expectations, not much has been done to ensure that their capacities are improved and the traditional justice system strengthened. This forum is intended for us to discuss, deliberate on what we see is to be done by traditional rulers themselves, by government at all levels, by development partners, and even the MCN program to strengthen the capacity of traditional rulers in resolving disputes and better govern their communities.
Some of the participants at the peace gathering applauded the efforts of the MCN for introducing such events and promised to take back to the people at the grassroots. They, however, pleaded with the government and non-governmental organizations to always relay any matter to them for proper handling.
Whenever government seek for our assistance, we are doing it to best of our ability. So we are praying, please, let put all the government to put 20 council in Nigerian constitution so that we can remain autonomous.
The Commissioner of Police said I should urge the participants here to carry the whatever we deliberated upon here to the grassroots and ensure that proper implementation.
Security and Civil Defense Corps, to the best of my knowledge, is the only organization that has peace and conflict department, right from national headquarters transcend to 37 state command and FCT. And we are working with all relevant stakeholders to ensure that we have resolved issues amicably.
The Ekiti state government has begun the payment of compensation to victims of police brutality and human rights abuses. The payment is in line with the composition of the Judicial Panel of Inquiry established in the aftermath of the EndSARS protest. The state governor, Kayode Fayemi, apologized to the victims and stated that 24 petitioners will be compensated in the first batch to the tune of 7 million naira. He added that more people will be compensated when the panel concludes its sittings. The chairman of the Judicial Panel of Inquiry, retired Justice Christopher Akintayo, clarified that some compensations go beyond monetary offers, as some victims are recommended for employment based on their peculiar cases.
The award of compensation to victims is just one of the steps we have taken to ensure that long after the panel may have concluded its work, our processes and systems will continue to provide effective and appropriate redress for victims. We have identified 3 major intervention areas in this regard. These are law reform, policy change, and institutional strengthening.
And also on Plus TV News Brief, a former governor of Imo State, Ikedi Ohakim, has been discharged and acquitted by an Abuja High Court on a 3-count criminal charge preferred against him by the Inspector General of Police, Adamu Mohammed. The acquittal followed a notice of discontinuance filed by the police in relation to the matter. Following the development, Ohakim was accordingly discharged and acquitted by the court as a charge was struck out. The police boss had in the said charge accused the ex-governor of giving false information against one Chinyere Amuchinwa. Before the matter was struck out, Ohakim had entered a plea of not guilty.
So we felt we had to go to court here in Owerri to stop these actions. And today, the FCT High Court dismissed one of the actions, and the second action, which is pending before the Federal High Court coming up on Thursday, the Nigerian police has also filed a notice of discontinuance. So what was happening in court today is for informational purposes to this honorable court that there has been a changed circumstance that warrants that the matter in Owerri here should sunset, should not go on anymore.
And the Senate has resolved to amend the Labor Act by reviewing fines upwards. The bill essentially seeks to review the present fines for offences in the Labor Act, which are now obsolete, and bring them in line with modern realities. The sponsor of the bill, Senator Ezenwa Onyewuchi, told the House that the sanctions, penalties and interest payable under the Act are low and do not reflect current economic realities. He further said that the current provisions cannot provide the needed protection for workers in the labor market, and there is need to review these penalties upwards to achieve fair and harmonious employee relations.
These current provisions cannot provide the needed protection for workers in the labor market. There is therefore a need to review these penalties and fines upward in order to achieve employee relations. It therefore reviews upward fines in the Labour Act for offences relating to Section 21, breach of terms and conditions of employment as it relates to the wage hour, nature of employment, leave, contract of employment, among others.
In summary, the bill seeks to dignify labor and to remind us of the fact that laborers and workers are not in any way the beggars, so they must be treated with dignity. It's unfortunate today that because of the high rate of unemployment, our sons and daughters are moving from different places, even the National Assembly here, looking for a white-collar job, which is not even forthcoming. And they do look for this job under any condition, whatever they can do to get it. So this is what we might call labor abuse law, to really inform employers on the need to treat their workers with dignity.
There are 3 sections of this amendment that speak to 3 very important labor issues. The issue of discrimination against women in job schedule, for which Section 58 seeks to amend, and the issue of child labor, which Section 64 seeks to amend. And the issue of also what they call modern slavery, that is forced labor, that is Section 73. Mr. President, these things are very important. They are the key issues in the front burner of contemporary labor management.
A bill for an act to amend the Labour Act Cap L1 laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004 to review labor fines upward and for other related matters 2021 second reading taken. And the bill is referred to the Committee on Labor and Productivity to report back with.
And now for some COVID-19 updates. The Nigeria Center for Disease Control, NCDC, has recorded 179 new cases of COVID-19, bringing the total number of infections in the country to 161,074. The NCDC disclosed this on its official Twitter handle on Tuesday. The health agency sadly reported 2 additional COVID-19 deaths, raising the total fatalities in the country to 2,018. According to the data released by the agency, the new cases were reported across 18 states and the Federal Capital Territory. And the President of the Senate, Ahmed Lawan, has received his first jab of the Oxford AstraZeneca COVID-19 vaccine. The vaccine was administered on him in his office by his personal physician and witnessed by some lawmakers. The Senate President called on Nigerians to make themselves available for vaccination. He also commended the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19 for working so hard to ensure that a vaccine is available for Nigerians.
Even though this is a voluntary thing, but it is advisable that as many Nigerians as possible should take the vaccine. We need to go on more sensitization and advocacy. We need to enlighten our people. We need to make this vaccine available in all areas, different crannies of this country.
And also the Director General of the Nigeria Center for Disease Control, NCDC, Dr. Chikwe Hekwazu, has assured Nigerians of the safety and efficacy of the Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine for COVID-19. Hekwazu gave the assurance on Tuesday in Abakaliki while handing over the newly constructed molecular laboratory to the management of the Alex Ekweme Federal University Teaching Hospital, Abakaliki. He said that in spite of reports of some European countries discontinuing with the vaccine's application, Nigerians should believe in its safety and efficacy. And Governor Ifeanyi Ugwuanyi of Enugu State says the Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine is safe and free of charge for all citizens. Ogwai made the disclosure on Tuesday at the Enugu State University of Science and Technology Teaching Hospital, Park Lane, Enugu. He noted that he was vaccinated on the 15th of March at the Enugu State Government House and advised everyone to get vaccinated. And Lagos State, as other states across Nigeria flag off COVID-19 vaccination, prioritizing frontline health workers in the first phase of the exercise, with 507,000 doses received from the federal government of Nigeria. Jacinta Obiku in this report tries to capture the process of administering the vaccines.
Being the epicenter of the pandemic, it is not out of place to have Lagos take 500,000 doses out of the close to 4 million doses of AstraZeneca vaccines that constitutes about 12.5% of the arrived vaccines. Currently, the frontline health workers as well as senior citizens have started taking their jabs, irrespective of the concerns raised on the possible side effect of the vaccine. The vaccine delivery is the first wave of arrivals in Nigeria, as more are expected in the country in the coming weeks. We went to Lagos Mainland Hospital, Yaba, to observe the process. Plus TV Africa crew on assessment mission of the process found out the process is ongoing, though with restricted access to camera. This is the road that leads to the Lagos State Infectious Diseases Isolation Center, Yaba, where the COVID-19 vaccination campaign is going on. Though we were not able to capture the process or even speak to any of them, but we are able to see some frontline workers and civil servants receiving this vaccine. From Mainland Hospital, Yaba, Lagos, Jacinta Obiku reporting for Plus TV Africa.
And now to stories in other parts of Africa. Somalia has started administering COVID-19 vaccines on Tuesday with the inoculation of the health minister who received the jab publicly to reassure the nation about its safety. The nation, which has recently experienced a surge of cases, on Monday received its first shipment of 300,000 doses of the AstraZeneca vaccine through the International COVAX initiative to ensure that low- and middle-income countries receive vaccines. And Niger has declared Wednesday a day of mourning for 58 civilians who were massacred. The government said the attack took place on Monday in the northwest part of the country, in the Tillabéri region on the border with Mali. The attack was directed at traders returning from a nearby market. There are no details available about who may have carried out the attack, and no group so far has claimed responsibility. Now outside Africa, in Bangladesh, 3 COVID-19 patients have died in a hospital fire in the capital, Dhaka. The director of the hospital, Namzul Hik, said the patients who were using ventilators in the hospital's intensive care unit died after the fire triggered an evacuation. Meanwhile, a fire service official says it was not immediately clear what caused the blaze. Hospitals are struggling to deal with a fresh spike in coronavirus infections this month in Bangladesh, which has reported 559 cases. The country has also recorded 8,571 deaths. And Australia says it will ask the European Union to release 1 million doses of a COVID-19 vaccine for neighboring Papua New Guinea, which is struggling to manage a dangerous spike in COVID-19 cases. Papua New Guinea has officially recorded over 2,300 cases since the pandemic began. Now in business, the United States government says empowering women remains key in the economic development of every country. U.S. Embassy Counselor for Public Affairs, Abuja, Aruna Amrithanayagam, disclosed this at this year's International Women's Day celebration organized by the United States government Exchange Alumnus Association of Nigeria in Rivers State.
That the economic empowerment of women is crucial to the development of every country. Without women's inclusive participation in society, Any gains in economic growth and development, as well as advances in science and technology, are unsustainable. In Nigeria, in particular, this is even more evident. While major corporations make an impact on the global economy, it is the country's micro, small, and medium enterprises that influence rapid economic growth within the country. Many of these small businesses are owned by women, and they support many sectors, including fashion, food, entertainment, education, and health.
The acting Vice-Chancellor of the University of Port Harcourt, Professor Stephen Okodudu, appealed to women to take advantage of education to liberate themselves.
The development of the capitalist system, as you know, the institution of class have emerged. And so what you find today as the oppression of one group or one sex over the other is simply a consequence of the political economy of that society. That is the simple fact. But I can well agree that in spite of it, the intensity of that oppression against women varies from one society to the other. As you find, in America, women are more assertive. But here, women appears to be less assertive.
Of the general turbulence in the country, Nigeria, and the scare of the second wave of the COVID-19 pandemic, you have remained undaunted and have kept your promise to visit. We are indeed proud to have you today because it is a clear evidence that you care very much about us. Indeed, your visit today reinforces the bond between us and strengthens further the alumni engagement in Rivers State.
All of us, in marking this occasion, should resolve to dedicate our lives to fighting for equal rights for all human beings and to join hands in resisting oppression and discrimination against women. Such a commitment is not only in the interest of women, but in the interest of humanity in general.
The Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development is set to commence a nationwide survey and soil fertility mapping to boost crop production in the agricultural sector. The Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development, Alhaji Mohammed Nanano, made the disclosure in a message to a workshop on Tuesday in Abuja. Nono said the program was part of the ministry's strategy to ensure sustainable utilization of the nation's land resources and drive towards attaining food self-sufficiency in the country. And also in business, the Rivers State Governor Nyesom Wike has alleged that the Central Bank of Nigeria is using politics to deny the state's access to agricultural loans. Governor Wike made the accusation when he hosted the Minister of State for Agriculture and Rural Development, Mustapha Shehuri, at Government House, Port Harcourt. The governor decried the situation where every issue in the country, including agriculture, has been politicized, instead of implementing such policies dispassionately to achieve the intended food security and job for the youth.
If we are sincere that agriculture will employ a lot of our youth, will give them job, then in terms of food security, then we must do it in such a way that we really mean what we say. It's unfortunate that everything has been politicized in this country. I think I'm one of those states that nobody gives loan for agriculture. So it will be Central Bank Governor, what hatred he has for us, we do not know. I've been hearing of Anchor borrowers this, Anchor sleep, Anchor rise, Anchor that. But when it concerns Rivers State, you hear a lot of tricks. But we have shown them that by the special grace of God, we can survive. Tell the governor of Central Bank to remember us too, that we are part of Nigeria. Development of the country is not done by on party basis. We need to partner together. The problem in this country today is because we have politicized every issue in Nigeria. relate with us, partner with government, so we can move the agricultural sector. Without agriculture, no country can move to anywhere.
To visit the state and inspect ongoing and completed projects of the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development. Our mandate is to grow agricultural sector and is challenging with the support, but with support from the state, we will accelerate food and nutrition security, provide raw materials, and generate employment in the country. The federal government, through the Federal Ministry of Agriculture, will continue to support the farmers and artisanal fishermen in the state. We will continue to give adequate support in area of extension services, good quality seeds, fertilizers, agrochemicals, and small-scale equipment to boost production.
Now in entertainment, U.S. movie director Spike Lee has been named president of the jury for the 2021 Cannes Film Festival after last year's event, which Lee was set to chair, was cancelled due to the coronavirus pandemic. The 2020 Cannes Festival, one of the movie industry's biggest events, was first postponed from May to the end of June and then cancelled. In the end, organizers held a low-key 3-day event in October, showcasing a range of short films. With COVID-19 still raging in France, the festival has scheduled the 2021 edition for July 6 to July 17 instead of in May, as usual. Now in sport, former world golf #1 Tiger Woods has returned home from the hospital after shattering his ankle and other leg bones in a rollover crash. Woods suffered serious leg injuries to both legs and was rushed into emergency surgery last month. This was after a harrowing rollover car crash in Los Angeles County, authorities and his manager said at the time. The 45-year-old golfer was conscious but trapped in the mangled vehicle he had been driving when the first sheriff's deputy arrived. And that's the news. For more, please follow us at Plus TV Africa on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And do subscribe to our YouTube channel at Plus TV Africa. We'll be back later with more stories. I am Osaogie Ogbonwa. Thank you for watching.
Politics has helped shape the decision of the polity, from conspiracy theories to good old-fashioned comic politics.
These are the results of tomorrow's election. Okay, you have it already, Abi.
I am not hungry. If I need appointment, all I need to do is to start praising government.
Plus, politics will fill the polls of the country, from friends to frenemies, even strange bedfellows, to clones and stooges. We go beyond the rhetorics and the drama to analyze the story behind the story.
Let everybody come and say. The moment we stop having charlatans occupy political offices, we will curtail hate speech.
Plus Politics, not just another political show. It's about putting you, the citizens, in the know.
For upcoming artists to blow in Nigeria.
Welcome to Plus Trending. I am Bookie November, your host, saying thank you for joining us on today's episode.
Welcome back. It's tea time on Plus TV Africa.
Practice makes perfect. I'm not perfect yet, but I'm a lot better than I used to be.
He's a king. He's entitled to marry 100 if he wants to.
Hello and welcome to What Are You Saying? #Ways, where we talk about topics in the news as it affects us all. I am Osayuame Sale, and today we have a full house. Hello. I love the color theme. No, color theme first before the Jennifer's hair.
Oh, okay.
Is this auburn? It's really nice.
Burgundy. I think it's burgundy, yes. Yes, one of my favorite colors.
It looks like this girl in X-Men, Sophia, that character.
The fire girl?
Yeah.
Oh, woo. Yeah. Okay.
You know the new girl, the one that did Game of Thrones?
I think hers is Ginger.
No, Game of Thrones, she
Sansa.
Yeah, Sansa. She came.
I think her hair is ginger.
Yeah. Really? It's not this color?
No.
Sorry.
It's like more orangey.
Maybe I'm colorblind.
But Jennifer, girl, I'm going to hail you today. Where are you up to?
Thank you.
You look amazing.
Just imagine what goes on behind the scene before we go live. It is well. We're not talking too many long banters today because we lost a lot of time. So here's what we found as today's quote. Today is not really supposed to be a smiley day. Rape is the only crime in which the victim becomes the accused. That's the quote for today. And it's so apt. Frida Alder said this quote is so apt because today we're discussing the story that we found, that was said by Nollywood actress Iyabo, where she said she was raped 5 times, and she recalls the sexual violence, by a report on Sahara Reporters that we found on Twitter. Let me come to you, Jennifer. What did you find for us in the news?
In Punch News today, drama as JAM parades staff over alleged admissions scam. So the JAM office paraded 2 of its workers on Monday for allegedly extorting money from unified tertiary candidates with a promise to help them secure admission. Now, the person who was apprehended confessed that he collected about 500,000 naira from 4 students, from 4 candidates, and
each or collectively.
So that's about 2 million naira.
Yeah, from 4 candidates, and I think he had a partner who he paid 180,000 naira to. So how JAM office found out was one of the students reported to his or her parents, and then they came to the office to complain about what was going on, and they had to bring it up, and then that was the whole thing.
But these things
have
been like
it's age old. I'm actually surprised. It's an old story. I'm actually surprised it's coming out now and it's actually in the news, because since I was in secondary school or primary school, I've been hearing
it's called sorting, and
sometimes
and sometimes parents even go to like do the payment, not even
the
They're like, make sure my child makes the merit list, take 200,000 naira. It's just
so 500k.
500k.
That's 2 million from 4 people. You'll be all right.
Well done, Jam. Please do more of that.
Really?
Yeah, they should do more of like finding these people.
Oh, okay.
If you're going to get admission on merit. Don't get it because my father can afford 1 million naira, and then I'm back home. I have just my school fees of 50,000 naira, but then you take my slot and give it to somebody else who has the money. It's not fair,
Okay, well, what did you find for us?
Okay, so the U.S. missions this is probably good news for a lot of Nigerians who are looking to migrate, because the current President Biden has reversed the travel restrictions or migration restrictions placed on Nigeria and other countries. So according to the U.S. mission, they're prioritizing immigrant visa applicants in Nigeria affected by Trump's travel ban. That's as of January 2021. That was when President Biden changed that proclamation. And they also went ahead to deny the fact that it was reported that they said that Nigerians denied visa on or after January 2020 can reapply for free. It's not for free. You will pay. But they're going to prioritize them, but you will pay. And this does not in any way affect people who are opting for tourist visa, business, or student. That one, if they denied you, you go and apply again and wait in line. But if you've paid ahead, your fees are still relevant, are valid till September 30, 2022, because it's taking them time to sort things out.
Well, I hear that my sister sent me a message there because when my visa expired, I actually paid the renewal fee, but it was long before the drop box.
Oh, okay.
So it had passed that time. So by the time I got to the embassy, they were just speaking one grammar that I forgot one bank deposit slip. I got upset and I just went home. So only for my sister to send me a message that if your visa, you've had 4 years, you know, prior to this today, if your visa had expired for, you know, so you still have that window, as opposed to 2 years, to do a Dropbox. So, which is good for me. So I said,
so
yeah,
I can still do a Dropbox,
yes,
right?
now. So I said, let's go and apply.
I'm all about the stress-free life.
All right, so my story is I'm just going to mention it because I really don't know what it means. I was hoping our finance people will tell us, but I think it's breaking news, and I have to say it. So they said CBN introduces new charges for the US dollars services. So according to the reports, there's a flat fee of about, I'm trying to pull it out, about 6 naira something kobo. That's a flat fee for all transactions that is done in US dollars. Yeah, they said the Apex Bank said effective Tuesday, that's today, customers will pay a flat fee of 6 naira 98 per transaction every time they use US dollar services. So I don't know what the services are, but some are saying that they are applauding the communication. And I think there's a debt. It said that the new charges was part of the agreement reached when banks and telecommunication operators met on Monday to discuss the 42 billion naira debt owed mobile operators by banks. So I don't know what this means. I will go and read more, but since it's breaking news, let us mention it.
6 naira per transaction, I think that's fair.
Well, it's a
Come to think of it, we get charged 50 naira there.
Well, I don't know what this transaction is about, so which is whatever it is. It seems like good news. I'm not sure yet. Until we ask our finance people, we will know. All right, so we'll just take a very short break. When we return, we'll be talking about rape and the blame game. Stay with us. We'll be right back. But refused to tell anyone because it was like a taboo to be raped at that time. Now, as a woman reading her ordeal, it was so painful for me. But what caught my attention was in the comment section, right? Comment section where as the pain that I felt soon quickly turned into anger, you know, reading what some people had penned down on, you know, her ordeal on the subject of rape and its impact. I'm sure most people do not understand what the impact of rape is. So according to reports, right, about 3 in 10 Nigerians, that's 26%, disclose that they know someone who has been raped in the past, and the rape victims were particularly minors and young adults aged between 1 to 15 years. Now that's about 72%, and 16 to 25 years, that's about 24% respectively. This statistics implies that 1 in every 3 girls would have experienced at least one form of sexual abuse by the time they reach 25 years. So when you read a comment like what I displayed earlier, I'm about to display, if they can just find that comment for me. Let me pick just one out of those comments that's, you know, the guy was talking about. Yeah, this is the comment now. Rape is an offense, whether present or past. But I want to ask, what have you been wearing before you got raped? Have you been seducing men? Have you been collecting money from the rapist before you got raped? Note, indecent dressing will attract uncontrollable men. So when you read this kind of comment, you know, what is the hope to fight this sexual violence that we're talking about? What's the hope that we're going to win it, right? So please let us hear what you have to say. Remember, you can join this conversation. Tweet at us at WayShowAfrica1 with the hashtag WayShow, or send us an SMS or WhatsApp to 081-803-84663. I think I'm so upset today. I don't even know how to coordinate myself because apart from that comment that I read, there was one other comment where the guy was talking about, you know, 5 times, you know, where he said,
like, why would people believe this story?
Yes.
That if a lady is raped 5 times, then that means you either cooked up the story or something is just
let me read
wrong
it. That's
with
from the person that has a handle of Alesh Prince or something that says, and people believe this kind of story. It doesn't take a genius to know 5 different rape cases over many years on one lady means either the story is cooked up or there's something very wrong with the lady. Okay, so let me calm down and first of all hear your initial thoughts on this.
All right,
It's open house.
I think it is appalling that over the years, we're encouraging people to speak up. And then, first of all, I applaud Iyabo Ojo because your scars are beautiful and even more beautiful when you open up and use it to help other people, which was why she shared the story. Okay, and now we live in a society where we are encouraging young people. Even some men are coming out to say, you know what, it's
thing to say, you know, about rape. The most sick thing, the most senseless